I won't even ask.
Oh, yeah, you're a secret alcoholic, right?
Yeah. Kyle, you're the only guy I've ever met whose social has 3 numbers in a row that are the same. That's so weird. That's so strange. All 2s. This guy. Yeah. The algorithm on Twitter, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm stopping and watching these videos too long indignantly, but I'm getting so much third world street food. I hate it. It's like it'll be like Bangladesh, and it's not even all from the same angle. Sometimes it'll be some guy from like Nigeria being like, it is disgusting what these Somalis would eat. Look at this. And they said that they can come live here, not chance to me. And like it's just him ripping on that. And then other ones will be like, I am so proud to be Bangladeshi. We have such tasty food. And it's like a guy literally slopping out orange goo onto pieces of plastic laid on the ground, on the dirt. And he's just like, they're eating it off of plastic. I hate third world street food. It makes me appreciate our first world street food so much better. Like you can go to a taco truck or like a little barbecue food truck and be like, oh, I wonder what the cleanliness is like in there. And then you watch one of these videos and you're like, man, I'm fucking thankful for the food we have here. Like there's no way those Venezuelans in that taco truck are like aggressively like using their fingers to touch all the tomatoes, because that's something that I see in Indian street food. There's no reason to touch it. And the guy's like spinning, he's stirring like salsa or soup with his hand. And he lives in India. It's
I've been
awful.
seeing videos of guys running they're street vendors, but they're frying stuff and they don't use a utensil. They use their bare hands in the boiling oil.
Yes, I saw that guy. He was like breaking the egg yolk with his fingertips when he had a spatula.
They like I don't mean they like tap the oil or they like reach in real quick and grab like a donut out. I mean they like actively like use their hand like a utensil, like waving the oil around. Like
it's this one. It's this one right here. It was right on my feet.
That was instant degloving.
I think that he's done that. He's been doing this his whole life, and his hand is like a big callus.
Yeah, is this the one you were exactly thinking about, Kyle?
It's not. I have seen this one recently. This is nothing, frankly. The guy I saw, you see what he's doing with that utensil? The way he's like, my guy does that with his hand.
Do you see how he fries the
oil and like splashes the oil and like there's something frying in the oil and he's moving it around in the oil to keep it like evenly cooking with his hand. Like he's frying up some hush puppies and he's like kicking them around in there with his bare fucking hand.
What do you think the heat source is for that giant pan? If you guys didn't see the video, it's like a 5-foot pan.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess like a propane tank or something. I have no idea.
Yeah,
hoping it's a fire.
They've got like those the way that people get cooking gas around the world is really interesting. I saw in Africa they do this thing where they walk to the gas station and they have a large inflatable plastic tube and they fill up the plastic tube with natural gas and then they carry it home and then they like stick a hose in it with a rubber band and that powers the fucking oven for like days. I couldn't think of anything more dangerous.
Dude, speaking like a dangerous street vendor thing, this was, I'm trying to find it. Maybe it was Kenya. Yeah, Kenya. There was, oh, what the hell?
I was ready to break it down. Let's go. That's a banger.
We're just trying all sorts of different angles here.
You're getting this awful music if you don't know, Zach.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of very loud music. But
that is Matush by Rako.
They got the hardest hands in the East. Just burned to a crisp. I saw something else that
was that
in Kenya.
I'm sorry, before you go, was that India by chance?
That was Pakistan, I believe, which is like
I only asked because in India you got toilet paper.
Yeah, they would disagree with tomato, but to us in the West, it's like India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, a jillion people all.
I'm like, you don't use toilet paper in India, so that's wild, but probably sterilized with that job.
He's using his right hand in the oil, not his left. The left is the shit hand. I saw something real. I saw a U.S. Army.
I bet if I wiped with my left hand, I wouldn't be as thorough. I'm like imagining ripping the toilet paper off there.
Toilet paper?
Wait,
I'm sorry.
You think they use toilet paper, you sweet summer child?
You're right.
No.
I'm not joking.
You're gonna do fine.
You're right. I know they don't.
Okay.
You'll figure it out. All right, got a bunch that time.
Did you know that there's oil in what are they called? The electric transformers?
Yeah.
No.
And that there's an issue apparently in Kenya that some ruffians are like stealing those, draining the oil, and then like making food in transformer oil and selling it to people. Like,
holy shit.
Try my fried chicken. And it's like, oh, this is awful and I feel sick. What's it from? And they're like, I don't know.
Is that why they smoke when they burn out?
It's mineral oil that you can't cook.
You can't cook
it's just like you know how they cool. They can have like a mineral oil around like a PC parts. Like it's. I think they're cooling the transformer with it or something. You can't.
Why
cook
won't
with
you
that,
allow
though.
them to cook with it? Right? Why do you say they can't do it? What kind of rule did you make up?
Well, I will admit, I don't know where mineral oil comes from, but it sounds like it comes from minerals. Then that makes no sense at all to me because I think of minerals as like rocks or granules of rock. I saw somebody making oil out of like some nuts the other day, and they just sort of like grind them, and then the oil just drips out. So I don't know where mineral oil comes from, but I don't think of it as a food grade oil.
I don't quite know how fracking works, but they also get oil from rocks.
Fracking's fun. I saw Jeremy Clarkson was getting not exactly fracking done on his land, but he's got that farm, you know, and they
Clarkson's farm. That's a good show.
Yeah,
I like.
They drill down into the slate, and then they, under very high pressure, they inject water to like open up the cracks in the in the stone and allow, and then in those cracks, while they're expanded by the high pressure water, they inject seaweed, and the seaweed goes in the cracks and keeps them open, at least open long enough for the water to start flowing through the cracks. And now forever, there will now be water flowing through those cracks. And they were like fixing his drainage problem on his land. And they had this ridiculous machine. It reminded me, remember the very beginning of Jurassic Park 1, when they've got that machine that does the ground radar, and it's got a shotgun shell, and it goes ka-doom, and like into the ground. They were doing that, and sort of, it was like a mini fracking device for his farm that they were using there.
Have you watched Clarkson's farm?
Not a bit. Never watched an episode of their car show, whatever that was called.
Top Gear.
Top Gear.
And there were very good. I only liked the ones where they would go on like missions. Those were very good. But the
only one who didn't like it.
What I liked about Clarkson's farm, which I think is on Amazon, because I've watched it, and so it's got to be on one of like Hulu or Amazon, one of those services. And I never think about like farmer, salt of the earth, like redneck people from other countries the same way, like especially with like the UK. Like I think of that country just so posh, and like the way they talk and everything. Like I don't think of them that way. And so like when Jeremy Clarkson is doing his farm, he basically has this like young guy, like probably early 20s, who's like a generational farmer, like, you know, wearing the boots, doing all the stuff, assisting him with it, and hearing him like say farmer shit in a British accent is so jarring and weird, where he's like, "What, are you fucking fool then? You're gonna leave the pigs out in the middle of spring with all these edibles here? They're gonna root up your entire field, mate." And it's like, damn, I wouldn't have thought, like, he shouldn't sound like that. He should sound differently. But
that's their propaganda. They did a great job of putting forward that image of themselves as the posh, aristocratic, well-spoken. And so, like, when you do a British accent, I think I heard Tom Holland or someone talking about this. Christian Bale. They asked him how he was so good at the American accent while Americans are often so poor. He's like, the American, and his accent is gross. He's got, his real accent is like a street British accent. He's like, American people think we all sound, "Oh, would you bother? Tip top, yes, sir, this and that." It's like, we haven't sounded like that in hundreds of years, mate. His voice is all gravelly and gross for real, but he's the guy. They do our accent.
Oh, I like playing Batman, innit?
Yeah, he sounds more like Alfred should sound than what Bruce Wayne should sound in RL. but they're really good at doing our accent. Tom Holland it does it so well. I mean, he's fucking Spider-Man. It's a little bit of a travesty.
Hugh Laurie? I didn't know he was British for 5-6 years.
Yeah, he's very good at it. I wonder if the American accent is just
it's
easy.
Because they're exposed to our media from very young, and they're not just exposed.